What's going on, Aurora Alliance, and welcome back to a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. And in today's video we're going to be talking about the possibility of General Grievous being in Star Wars Battlefront 2 as a hero. Now, General Grievous is probably the most requested character up there with Ahsoka Tano for Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I think EA will pay attention to that. They have listened to the community a lot for Star Wars Battlefront 2. The feedback that we gave them from the first Battlefront, they've taken that into consideration and have implemented the changes into Star Wars Battlefront 2 from what information they have told us so far. So it wouldn't surprise me if they have listened to what the community want in terms of heroes and then put them in the game. General Grievous, if you didn't know, which I'm guessing everybody does, was the leader of the droid army of the Confederacy of Independent Systems during the Clone Wars, and he was recruited by Count Dooku to lead the Separatist droid army and trained in the art of lightsaber combat. Now, as we know from Revenge of the Sith, General Grievous does have 4 lightsabers and 4 arms that he can use to attack enemies. If he is in Star Wars Battlefront 2, I think he will have 4 lightsabers as some form of ability, and that will be a really terrifying thing to come across in the game. Fighting heroes with 1 lightsaber is bad enough when you know they are really powerful, but if you're just a normal clone trooper running around the battlefield, and General Grievous comes towards you, activates his ability which gives him his 4 lightsabers and does some form of attack on you, you are going to get wrecked. You aren't really going to stand a chance against 4 lightsabers. But still, it's going to be a really cool feature if it is in the game, and if Grievous is there, that the 4 lightsabers are in the game as an ability. I think if Grievous is in the game, he should only have 2 lightsabers as his normal sort of weapons, and then, like I said, 4 lightsabers as an ability, as it would be extremely powerful, I imagine. With Grievous leading the Separatist droid army, I think he could have some form of ability which allows him to buff droids that are near him, kind of like Director Orson Krennic in the current Battlefront. I think Grievous definitely should have that because he seems to always be surrounded by droids in some way, shape or form, whether that's being his Magma Guards or just normal battle droids, or even B2 battle droids. There is always droids around him until he fights a Jedi and then the Jedi takes out the droids around him and then it is just a 1v1. So maybe we could have Grievous actually having bodyguards as well, being Magma Guards, if the bodyguard system stays the same as it was in the first Battlefront game. I don't know if EA DICE are going to change the bodyguard system, but I think Grievous should have them. Since Grievous can use a variety of weapons, he doesn't just actually use lightsabers, he has been seen to use blasters and even staffs. I think EA DICE could give Grievous an ability which allows him to use a blaster instead of his lightsabers all the time, so that if he is at a distance to the enemies, he can still take out the blaster and have a go trying to shoot them rather than trying to run up the battlefield, getting shot at while he's running there, taking a lot of damage and then trying to take them out with lightsabers. It's going to be really interesting to see if they put Grievous in the game. If so, I'm wondering who his counterpart might be. The main Jedi he seems to fight in the movies is Obi-Wan Kenobi, but then in the animated series The Clone Wars he does seem to fight a lot of Jedi, so I'm not quite sure who his sort of counter-hero would be. Now, whether Grievous would be a fully attacking hero or a defensive hero, I'm not really sure, because if you remember in the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 game, he had an ability called Rage, which allowed him to buff the damage of nearby allies, which, like I said earlier on, could be similar to Director Orson Krennic's ability in the current game. But then with Grievous having his 4 lightsabers, that's kind of a really aggressive thing. So maybe Grievous could be a hero which sits nicely in the middle. He's not fully attacking, he's not fully defensive, he's got a nice mix of both, meaning that you can play him in either way. You're not just stuck to one playstyle with the hero. You can change it up, and depending on what abilities you really like or your playstyle, means you will still be able to control Grievous in a way that works well for you and your team in Battlefront 2. Let me know down in the comment section below, do you think General Grievous should be in Star Wars Battlefront 2? If so, what abilities do you think he should have? I'm a little bit mixed up with the abilities, I don't know really what he should have, but I definitely think his 4 lightsabers should be one, and then maybe some sort of ability which allows him to buff nearby droids' health and damage and things like that. Make sure to smash a like on this video if you have enjoyed it, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to join the Aurora Alliance and be kept up to date with all things Star Wars gaming, especially Star Wars Battlefront 2. Other than that, may the Force be with you.